Hello friends, welcome back to another session of MongoDB. In our last session we are done with Apache Kafka, and before to that we have done a RabbitMQ. These two messaging brokers are used in microservice architecture model. In upcoming sessions we will learn what is microservices, how to create microservices using Spring, how many topics are there that need to cover in microservice model. Because microservice model is little it is quite different from monolithic architecture development model. We'll see that in our upcoming sessions. MongoDB is also used in microservices, or it is not compulsory that you have to use in microservice model only. It's a database actually. MongoDB is also a database, and we can use this in our application also. There is some specific use case for this MongoDB that we should keep in mind, and we can if it is required, we can leverage MongoDB instead of MySQL database. Okay, so let's see the introduction of MongoDB. So what is MongoDB? MongoDB is an open source document based database, and that provide high performance, high availability and automatic scaling. Scaling is a second part. Scaling means run the application in several nodes or in a several instance, or by several instance, called scaling. That is a separate part. But you just keep in mind, MongoDB is an open source database that provide high performance. How it provide high performance? And it's an open source document based database. Now what is document based? If you compare with MySQL or Oracle DB, so that is not a document based database. That is a tabular structure database. The data will be stored in a table, and table will contain a row and columns. But in MongoDB, each record is counted as a document. Okay, so document database is what? A record in a MongoDB is a document. So in a record in a MySQL is a one row of a table, but in MongoDB a record in a MongoDB is a document, which is a data structure composed of a fields and value pair. You know, the document that will be in form of always JSON. So each so one document means one JSON object, and one JSON object you might have a n number of fields and values. Okay, MongoDB documents are similar to JSON object. It's a JSON object only. The value of a field may include other document also. It can have a other document like similar to JSON object. JSON object may have a string type field, array type field, or it may have another JSON object also. Object inside object also is there in a Mongo in a JSON. Okay, or it can have array or array of a documents. So MongoDB is a database. MongoDB is a NoSQL database. SQL syntax we can't use to insert the record or to delete the record, to update the record, to get the record. We cannot use SQL statement. There is no SQL. So that's why this is also called MongoDB is NoSQL database. MongoDB is a document based NoSQL database. Yes, there is a no record, there is a document only. MongoDB store the data in JSON format. Okay, MongoDB supports both structured and unstructured database. Now what is structured and unstructured database? Suppose if you take the example of a MySQL, in MySQL the data are in a structured format. Yeah, you have to define what is the name of column, what kind of value that column can have, how many columns can have. So all those you define before to insert the data. So that is why this is a structured database. But in case of MongoDB, it's unstructured also. Why? Because you don't need to define how many fields can be there. If you want to store all objects of a similar type, you can do. If it is different, you can do. Okay. MongoDB is not for transactional operation. Suppose where we should not use MongoDB. We should not use MongoDB in a transactional operation. Suppose if the same data is modified by the several users, so in that case you have to lock the object and then you have to do the operation, so that other will not update the same object at the same time. If we have to perform some transaction operation, we should not go with MongoDB, because MongoDB do not support transactions. MongoDB is best for read mostly data. What is read mostly? Suppose if you want to read the data, just to want to read the data, that's it. For that purpose, MongoDB is the best. Updates are happening very minimal, or if updates are happening, that is happening by the single user and no other user will do that same operation on the same data. You can do MongoDB, you can use in that case. So that is the use of MongoDB. MongoDB is best for read mostly data, and MongoDB is 100 times faster than RDBMS. RDBMS is relational database management system, like MySQL, Oracle, Postgre. These all are the RDBMS, relational database management system. Relational is nothing but the tables. Data will be stored in form of tables. So that is a relational RDBMS. Okay. So as compared to RDBMS, MongoDB is 100 times faster. Okay. MongoDB need to create a database is a set of collections. So we need to create a database we need to create first, and database will contain set of collections. Collection is nothing but that one document. So what is collection in MongoDB? Sorry, in MongoDB, collection is similar to the database. Simple. In MySQL, we are generally creating a database. In that database, there may be n number of tables. So what is collection? Collection is similar to table. Collection is similar to table. Suppose my users, one table. So in my users, you will define username, password, user types or user roles, created date, last updated date, something like that you will do. So that will be a table. In that table you will insert the data. But in MongoDB you have to create a collection similar to the table. You have to create a collection, and in collection you will store your JSON objects. Okay. So collection is a set of documents. Database is a set of collection. In the database there are n number of collection. Under collection there is a document. So database is a set of collection, and collection is a set of document, and document is a set of properties. Yes, definitely a JSON object will have a properties. Okay. But if you see in MySQL also we need to create a database. So under database, what will be there? We need to create a table. Under table there will be rows, and row has a columns. So in MySQL need to create a database. Database is a set of tables. Table is a set of rows, and row is set of columns. Okay. So this is all about the MongoDB. Now we will do one comparison between MongoDB and RDBMS. RDBMS, I am not taking here any specific. Database, means we will compare, because this is separate from SQL. MongoDB is different from SQL. MongoDB is a no SQL. That's why we have to compare MongoDB with RDBMS, because RDBMS, so many databases are there that is implementing RDBMS, like MySQL, Postgre, Sybase. Okay, so that's why we are making comparison between MongoDB and RDBMS. So RDBMS is a SQL database, where MongoDB is NoSQL database. And the example of MongoDBs are Cassandra. This is a one database that is also similar to MongoDB. That is also NoSQL. Radius, HBase are the example of NoSQL database. But in case of RDBMS, Oracle, MySQL, Postgre, Sybase, or Microsoft SQL, these all are the example of RDBMS. Document based NoSQL database. So in MongoDB, it's a document based. MongoDB is a document based NoSQL database, but RDBMS row and column, that makes a tabular based database. So RDBMS is what? RDBMS is a tabular based database. MongoDB is document based NoSQL database, and RDBMS is a tabular based database. Table will contain row and columns. Okay. And if you see the example of here, need to create a collection, in this one we need to create a database, need to create a table based on a schema. In MongoDB we need to create the collection, and collection will not have the specification what should be the field name, what should be the type of the field, what can be the length of this one, and how many can be there. We will not define any of these properties in collection. So that's why this is an unstructured database. But in RDBMS we need to specify what should be the column name, what should be the column type, what should be the column value, how much length it can be, and how many numbers of column can have. We have to define all this. So that's why RDBMS is a structured database. NoSQL or MongoDB is an unstructured database, and it as well as it can be structured database also. If you want to save the same type of object, it will be structured. It's up to your choice how you want to use. So also called a schema less collection also, because collection will not have a schema. Collection will not have a schema. If you see the example, this is the JSON object where SID is 1, S name is ABC, phone number is 1234, and the same if you want to convert to RDBMS, then you have to define a table where SID, S name, phone number, something like that. Because schema is a structure of a table. Schema, what is schema? Schema is the structure of table, such as column name, type, etc. of the table. We have to define so many properties of the table, like what should be the column name. First we will define how many columns can be there, like 10 columns can be there. Okay. What is the type of first column? This one, like string. What is the name of first column? This is the name. Okay. Is there any constraint on this column, like the number cannot be less than this or greater than this one? That is a constraint. We can add that also. So all like that we have to define all the schema. We have to define all the schema. That is called a structure of a tables. But in case of NoSQL or MongoDB, this collection, you don't need to define any of these properties. Whatever type of JSON object you want to save, you can save. Okay. NoSQL or MongoDB store the data in JSON format, and this store the data in form of a table. Okay. Collection contain documents, table contain row. Yeah. In RDBMS there is a table, and table will contain rows, but in MongoDB there is a collection, and in collection will contain documents. Document contain property, row contain columns. Okay. Supports unstructured data, but this supports structured data. RDBMS supports structured data, and NoSQL support unstructured data. Does support non-transactional operation. So transactional operations you cannot do using MongoDB, but in case of RDBMS you can do the transactional operation also. Okay. Used for read mostly data, and this is used for update mostly data. whenever you want to update the data frequently and others are also doing the same operation on the same data, you have to log the transaction. So that's why this is for update mostly data, but MongoDB is read mostly data. Okay, this is 100 times faster than RDBMS, performance wise slow as compared to MongoDB. Okay, so this is all about the MongoDB. Okay, so now we will see the installation of MongoDB in our local system, then we will do with our start with our course. Okay, so you have to install by some commands only, because in MySQL in Linux operating system everything is done through commands, because in server side if you use server side, so the server side there will be no UI graphic interface, so better to do through commands only. Okay, so just you need to open the terminal first. So open the terminal. So in my machine I have already installed MongoDB. So what we will do now, first we will see the version of MongoDB. D stands for database. So it is telling database version is 7.0.1. We will uninstall this first and we will see the installation. Okay, if you want to install using some UI, you can do that also. You can do that also. So just clear it, and I'm just opening the official website of MongoDB. Okay, MongoDB. I will show you how, if you want to do this installation using some GUI, you can do that also in Linux operating system, but not recommended. So go to products, under community edition, community server, products, community edition, software free used by millions, and community server. Click here. So here simply just you have to select your version, the current version 7.0.1, but we have installed here 7.0.1, because it will take latest always. If you use command prompt, you have to select your platform also. Platform, like in our case it's Ubuntu 22.4. and if you see here in packaging, you can use either server. So what it will do, or Mongo's, what it will do, it will download the deb file. If you copy the URL, and if you see here, this is a deb file, you can just right click on this one and double click on this one, and it will get started download installation, similar to Ubuntu Linux Windows operating system. You can do that one. It's not recommended, because if you installing in your server, definitely will not have that GUI. Okay, but you can do that also. So similarly, just you install this one, then you have to download Mongo's, and then you have to download server also. If you copy the server URL also, you can see this is also a deb file. Okay, this is the one way. Another way, just you need to go to more options, release notes, close other tabs, and here you can see the installation, introduction, operation, introduction, getting started. No, where is the installation part? It must be here. Get started. Not here. CRUD operation, indexing. No. Okay, this is upcoming, that's why current version is this one. CRUD operation. Yes, because that was upcoming version that we were selecting here. Okay, current version we have selected. So you can see here installation on community version. Okay, on Linux. Yes, go to Linux which flavor? Ubuntu. So yes, now you can see here this is the installation steps. You can follow this one also. You can follow these steps, this URL, the version, the current version 7.0, and you just follow this, the first one, then second one. You can do this one, installation and uninstallation, you can do very easily. Same I have copied that steps here. So what I will do first, in my local machine you can see we have already installed. So what we will do this first we will uninstall this one. So for uninstallation, what you need to do, first you need to stop MongoDB, stop it. Okay, because automatically it is starting whenever your system is up, we have said like that. Next, just remove the MongoDB server. Okay, it's just done. Okay, next you need to remove the data directory where the data will be, logs will be there, some other files will be there, library that will be under var, log and lib folder. So you need to remove those also, remove the files. Okay, done. Next, copy and paste. Sorry, it's done. Now if you see the version, where is that command? So it's not there, MongoDB version, no such file. Which MongoDB, it's not telling anything. Like if you see here which Java, it will tell no, where is Java and Java version, everything you can see. So similarly now you are not able to see the Mongo version and which MongoDB or which Mongo sh. So that's why, because this is uninstalled now. Okay, so we will installation this first. So for installation, just go to the first step. So first what you need to do, you need to execute this one, get apt install gnup. Why it is required? Why? Because whenever it will ask for yes or no confirmation, you no need to provide that, automatically it will take from here. Okay, okay, next, let it completed. Okay, next is you need to do this one, copy it, yes. So you need to type y. Okay, next, sudo get apt update you need to do. So these all steps you are doing. You need to connect your system with internet, because it is taking the files from some repository, some server. You need to do that one. If it's not connected to internet, you cannot do that one. Okay, next, install MongoDB. This is the installation, actual installation. Before, some environment we were making ready, that's why. Now this is the installation step. This step will take some time. I'm just executing this installation command. first time if you are doing, it will download the files and it will take time. If you again install this one, it will take less time as compared to the first one. Okay, fine. The next is start MongoDB. Copy this, start this one. Yes, so started. Now this is started, and if you are facing some MongoDB server not fine, so you need to do daemon reload, that's it, but it's not required in our case, it is successfully done. Next, to verify the MongoDB has started or successfully or not, so you have to see this command. What this command is doing, sudo system control status. System control status for which one? MongoDB. Status of MongoDB. It should become in green colors and up. Yes, active, running since just now we have installed 34 seconds ago only. That's it. Fine. Do Control Z here. Okay. So now MongoDB is up. MongoDB is up, and the next thing that you want to do is to optionally ensure that MongoDB will start following a system reboot by issuing a following command. Suppose currently you don't need to execute, by default whenever your system you are starting, MongoDB will be started. If still it is not starting, you do this one, you enable. But in our case, I did previously I didn't execute this command because automatically it is starting. This command internally they are executing automatically, so you no need to do this one. But still, if your MongoDB server is not starting, when you are starting your machine, you execute this command, system control enable MongoDB. Automatically your system will be your MongoDB server will up. Okay, if you want to stop the server, you can do that also. Sudo system control stop MongoDB. Restart, if you want to restart, you can do that also. Sudo system control restart MongoDB. You can restart. Beginning with MongoDB, you have to start your console of a MongoDB. How can you create the collection? How can you create the databases in that one? Now you have to start with that one. So first one, you need to enter into Mongo shell. Mongo shell is what? This is a shell script commands where you will execute your all shell scripts, similar to the MySQL or RDBMS database, where you are executing your SQL statement to see the tables, to see the records, to insert the record, update the record. You are entering into the MySQL console where you are executing your queries. Or else in modern development model, lot of the developers are using DBR or MySQL Workbench or any other third-party IDE tools. So that will help you to work smoothly in your IDE itself. But if you don't use that one, you have to use shell script always. So Mongo shell, sh is a shell, is another shell script that is provided in Mongos that you can use to enter into Mongo shell script, and where you can execute this one. So first I am clearing this one. Now we are entering into Mongo shell, so where we will execute our command. So it is there, yeah, it is connected to your local host 27017 on this is a port, default port. Every server has a default port where it is connecting. Similarly, if you are using MySQL, then default port is 3600, I think something is there. So like that, some default port will be there. So MongoDB, the default port is 27017. Okay, MongoDB version is 7.0.1, the latest one. MongoDB shell script version is 2.0.1. So why this shell version is this one? Because if I will show you here, come here, okay, come here, and if you go to tool and if you go to Mongo shell, because Mongo shell explicitly you have to download using using this UI if you want to download. So for Mongo shell, if you select the version, the stable version is 1.4.0. yes, no Mongo shell. Go to Mongo shell, more options. Okay, click here. Okay, why it is not showing the downloads? Under tools, this is another one. Mongo shell is this one. More options. Yeah, so the shell version is something different. Shell version is something different. Okay, it is not MongoDB version is something different, 7.0.1, but shell version is other this version, because this is a separate application, that's why. So it is installing shell version 2.0.1, the latest one only. Now you have to execute your shell scripts here. We'll see that in our next session. I will show you one shell script here, one command, that is show databases, DBS databases. How many databases are there already? Isman. Use my test DB. So this database is there. If it is not there, you cannot use it, but it will create the database if it is not there. But in MySQL, if you directly use my database, it will say this database is not there because it's not present in the database list. But in case of MongoDB, what it will do, first it will create the database and then it will switch automatically. Now if you show databases, it will you have to come out. Go to exit, Mongo's message. It is okay. Why it is not showing the database here? Tell me. Can you tell me why it is not showing the database is here? Even the database is created, it is telling here. If you see, switched to DB, my test DB, but it is not showing in this list. Why? Can you tell me the reason why it is not showing? Because there is no collection, no document in this database. There is no collection. Under collection also no database, no document. So if there is no collection, no databases, it will not show in this list. It's empty only, that's why it's not showing. We will see. We will create a collection. We will insert the data. We will insert the the documents. We'll see in that our next session. Okay. So thank you and have a nice day. See you next session.